Hey all, here at OS Reviews. Today we're taking a look at yet another version of a moon lamp, which has been a popular mood light design recently. It's a miniaturized 3D printed version of the moon that can illuminate and add an interesting glow in the background of a room. We've checked out a few before if you think you're seeing double, because we just saw another version that has a built-in Bluetooth speaker. Well, this might be the last version that we'll be taking a look at. There's now a touch control pad built onto the base that you can use to slide your finger to get the light dimmer and also brighter. It's also a little cheaper. This one sells for 25 bucks, about $5 less than the Bluetooth enabled speaker model that sells for $30. It will still be RGB. It can change between all of these crazy different colors, including reds, blues, and just the white or yellow. And it also comes with a built-in remote control, just like before, that you can use to enable the different effects from afar, and a 800 milliamp hour capacity battery that can work up to 30 hours of illumination when fully charged. And also it charges up using micro USB, which, as we talked about in the Bluetooth speaker version of the lamp, is a little better than the past versions of the Moonlight that historically came with a barrel plug design for the charger, less standard, and if you lost it, it was kind of hard to replace. So I'm glad to see that they're now using a better port, even though it's not USB Type-C. We have, of course, the lamp itself that we'll take a closer look at in a moment, along with a wood-style base that is the same as the Bluetooth version of the lamp that you can easily just install by popping in these sticks, and then it will just pop it upright. And finally, there is just the remote control and a quick user guide. The remote control style, by the way, is a little bit different from before. It's a bit more compact. The keys are rubberized and takes two AAA batteries, and you're able to do things like change the brightness of the lamp, the different transition effects. Lamp itself is the same size as before at 6 inches, and it's a little lighter than the Bluetooth speaker enabled version since there's less parts inside, as expected. On the base here, though, we do have the aforementioned touch sensor, which reminds me of kind of a happy face, and you're able to use this to get it brighter and dimmer. And there's also a manual power and on lock that you can also switch on to then turn everything on just by tapping on the side, and then again changing the brightness here just by tapping and swiping along. It is pretty sensitive and easy to use, and if you don't want to swipe all the way to change between the different modes, you can also just touch a certain point and it will skip ahead. So with the maximum brightness, you can just tap on the side, or the minimum on the other edge, and it will do that for you, or the middle section. You can also tap on the power key to then essentially go through different colors one at a time and cycle between them. Now, one other benefit of having this little base area that has a control pad compared to the previous model, which was completely round, was this thing basically rolls like a ball on any flat surface, so you have to put it onto the stand. But because this one has a slight edge here, which is kind of cut off, it can almost act as a stand of its own. So if you put it onto a table, it doesn't tend to roll around too much. You can just use it like this, even without the stand if you choose, which is something that the older models of the Moonlight was not capable of since it didn't have that cut at the bottom. What I will say, though, is just like the Bluetooth speaker edition of the Moon Lamp, the controls are at the very bottom of the light. So in order to access it, you still have to kind of pick it up in order to control it and then set it back down. So of course they can't put it onto the top because that would not really look too good from a aesthetic perspective. This is a mood light, so it's not going to be the brightest light in the world, but for adding a bit of color in the background, it certainly does the job, but not really a reading light. Some of the other colors, which are RGB, you can go through one at a time, working pretty well. Here's also a flashing mode, so this is a effect where it will just go through the different colors by itself, one at a time. We can see how the details on the craters of the moon are captured pretty well here in the 3D printing. And there's another transition mode, which is going to be smoother, so gradually going through different colors without flashing. You can also change the speed of the transitions if you want to make it really fast, as you can see there, or slow down the effects by turning it down. So again, more than anything else, this model just adds a micro USB port for charging instead of a round plug, and also the touch controls that you can use to change the brightness of the lamp directly on here. So if you're interested, you can check out more details in the links down below, but for now, that's been our video. A small upgrade, and can be worthwhile though if you're looking for an interesting mood light at a low cost. Thanks for watching here at OS Reviews. That was a closer look at the touch slider control version of the Moon Lamp.